I'm Jane Lunnan. I'm with the Ashe County Arts Council in West Jefferson, and I've got another update on the arts in Ashe. I've got a special guest with me today, Ray Pod.
Hi.
Ray, welcome to the show.
Hey, good to be here.
We're here to talk about the Ashe Civic Center today and a special fundraiser for the Civic Center called the Blue Ridge Brutal. Ray, we're talking bikes, right?
We're talking bikes.
Cycles.
We're talking potentially up to about 400 cyclists coming in.
Right.
Weather's looking great, so it should be a fabulous event. What can I say? It's brutal. It's the Blue Ridge Brutal. It's a bike ride to remember.
That's right. This is the 26th annual event sponsored by the Ashe Civic Center. It does a lot of great things. It's certainly a great way to attract riders from all over the eastern part of the United States to Ashe County
and
for a
around
ride.
and around the Americas, the different states. We get quite a lot of riders come in from different places. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
We've had riders in the past from as many as 11 different states coming to ride.
Mm-hmm.
The Brutal's 26-year history has been a nice, steady, sustained one. And each year we look for something new and a little different to add to it for our riders.
Yep.
And you are one of our riders.
I am one of the riders, but I'm also on the marketing committee, which means that we've done a lot to try and improve the ride as we've moved through the years. Certainly from a safety aspect, we're doing more and more and more to make sure that the riders, any comments we get at the end of any ride, any year, we try and address those, and if there's any safety issues, we always address that. So we've probably got the best signage out that we've ever had. And of course, during the ride, we try and make sure that everybody moves forward, and when we get back to the Civic Center at the end of it, you know, we've got music, we've got, we've got beer, you know, we've got beer, Boondocks providing some beer for us. We've got a free beer glass with the Blue Ridge Brutal logo on it for every rider, over 16 of course. Sorry, over 21.
Over 21.
Over 21, yeah.
You can tell that you're not from here,
no.
and you're reflecting back on England.
Yeah.
Let's give folks some of the specifics of this event. First of all, the basic route is 100 miles.
That's the toughest one.
This is 100 miles of gorgeous roadways all throughout Ashe County. Is it 26 miles on the Blue Ridge Parkway?
It's just over 21 miles on the Blue Ridge Parkway that everybody does.
What a gorgeous place to ride.
It is. Fabulous.
And from there, riders have the option of doing only 75 miles.
Well, they have the option of doing only 57 as well.
Only 57 miles.
But even the 57 is hard.
It's all beautiful, beautiful Ashe County, a little bit into Allegheny County roadways.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, it's a well-supported ride, both with sag wagons running the route with the cyclists. We have a motorcycle escort helping us out from the Mountain Dogs.
Yes.
We have strong support from the Ashe Amateur Radio Club.
Yes.
Communication, obviously, in these mountains can be a real challenge with cell phones. So we've got good coverage with that. And then we've got our rest stops. Oh my goodness. We've got 6 rest stops. And these are community organizations, community businesses that set up a tent, provide refreshments, liquid refreshments, beverages, healthy snack foods to keep those riders going. I do want to give a great big thank you to our rest stop sponsors, and that's GE Aviation, AEV, which is American Emergency Vehicles, the Mount Jefferson Presbyterian Church, SSS Inc., Mount Ashe Memorial Hospital, United Chemicon. I think that was 6.
Good.
Great rest stop sponsors for us. And you mentioned our key corporate sponsor, and that's Boondocks Brewhouse.
Yep.
They're coming on board again to provide a specially created brutal brew just for our riders, which is
well appreciated at the end of it.
Oh, it certainly is.
And of course, at the end of it, anybody that wants to, there's a 57, a 75, and a 100-mile route, as we said. They're all brutal. I think each one of them has about 1,000 feet of elevation gain over every 10 miles. So, you know, if you're doing the 100 miles, you're going to be well over 9,000 feet of elevation gain, which is brutal. And you go up Ben Bowlen, and there's some serious hills to challenge everybody.
tell folks what they can expect at the end of any of those routes. Speaking of brutal.
You mean the assault on Mount Jefferson?
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody that wants to do the assault on Mount Jefferson, which is about pushing 1,500 feet of elevation gain over a 3.1 mile route to the top of Mount Jefferson, that is the equivalent to about a Category 2 Tour de France ride, which is seriously challenging, especially if you've done the 100 miles and you're already tired and you've still got that final 3.1 miles, 1,500 feet of elevation gain. But there's a beer at the end of it, you know.
Well, so, and we do limit the number of riders that can do the assault, and we have a waiting list for that.
Yep.
So the limit is 50 to be able to go to the top of Mount Jefferson.
But you shouldn't be put off, because a lot of riders, they get back at the end of their 100 miles and they're just so tired that they can't do it. So, you know, even if you're on the waiting list, you've still got a good chance of being able to do it if you want to.
Well, let's talk about registration for a minute. And let's tell folks when this event is. It's this coming Saturday. That's Saturday, August 8th. The start time from the Ashe Civic Center is at 8 a.m. Everybody leaves at once. And what a great sea of color with the beautiful jerseys of all colors and descriptions taking off from the Ashe Civic Center. And then everybody, all three routes, end up back at the Ashe Civic Center. So that's the first heads up, is 8 a.m. this Saturday, August 8th. Registration is still ongoing.
Yes, yes.
We anticipate the week of the event this week with riders looking at weather forecasts, looking at their health, at how able their body is at this point. We're still in a position to be able to still accept registrations.
We are.
Right up until the morning of the ride, where they're starting at 6 a.m.
And it's a great event. When people arrive, there's plenty of parking. There's no need to worry about, you know, getting there, getting to the event. And it's just so well organized, so easy.
We do make it easy.
We do.
And fun. And so many of our riders, Ray, come in not just for the ride on Saturday, but they bring their families. They're here for the weekend with lots of other activities going on.
Oh, there's all sorts of things to do in West Jefferson. And, you know, it's not just about the town. There's hiking, there's canoeing or kayaking on the New River. All sorts, or you can go out and ride another ride or whatever you want to do. But if you do want to come and stay with your family, I suggest you get on the telephone and maybe phone up some of the hotels, because they'll be booked up, a lot of them, and so, you know, or they might be getting to that stage. So,
Right. Well, we've mentioned the Ashe Civic Center, Ray, and the fact that this is a fundraiser for the Civic Center. The Civic Center is a county-owned facility, and it's operated, managed, and programmed by the Ashe County Arts Council. We've got some great events planned all year long at the Civic Center. Want to remind folks about a couple of dates coming up. One is a Tuesday night concert, August 11th, and it's called Yesterday and Today, a tribute to the Beatles. This is an interactive community kind of concert that's going to be such fun. If you love Beatles music, and those of us
from Liverpool.
Yes, those of us of certain generations all have our favorite Beatles tunes. They've got all of those Beatles songs in their repertoire, and they take the suggestions from the audience, and that's how they build their set list. So you can pull out your favorite, most obscure Beatle tune that you want, and they'll do it on stage.
Sounds like fun.
It's going to be a great concert. And then at the end of the month, Ashe County Little Theater's annual summer comedy called Dixie Swim Club will be opening end of August, a Thursday through a Sunday show. And tickets for all of those events are available. It's reserved seating at the Civic Center. But the Blue Ridge Brutal raises money to support the work of the Ashe Civic Center, to support the Civic Center's commitment to supporting traditional music, as well as all arts events, arts education events for our young people.
And this year is pretty special as well for one other reason, that we are being recorded to be put on UNC TV, North Carolina weekend. So, you know, anybody that's riding has got a good chance of being put on, getting themselves on television, which is going to be really, really well,
that's going to be a nice little segment for everybody to see and to be able to access for the future, to promote the area, to promote the ride, and promote the Civic Center.
And the weather, as I say, is looking pretty good for this coming Saturday. It should be a minimal chance of any precipitation, and just perfect weather. I was out on the Blue Ridge Parkway Friday, and it was stunning. So if you're a rider and you want the challenge, come out, and you won't regret it. It's a fabulous ride.
It's a great ride. The Blue Ridge Brutal has a website, blueridgebrutal.org. You can find out lots of information about the ride, about registering online, all the details that you need for this year's ride. If you need more information, you can call us at the Ashe County Arts Council, 336-846-2787. Check out the information about the arts, AsheCountyArts.org, links to the Blue Ridge Brutal site, to the Civic Center site, everything you wanted to know about what's going on in Ashe County. You can give us a call or check the websites. Ray, it's been a pleasure having you here to share
I'm
information.
glad for the opportunity to try and get this ride, promote it, make sure. One thing, if I've got just a minute, one of the things that's happening this year as well is we've got some road work on 221, so we are making some minor alterations to the ride. Which are well signposted, but I do want people in the area. Two things I'd like to mention. One, please be aware that there's a lot of cyclists coming through, so if you're out driving and you see signs saying caution, cyclists ahead, please take note of that, because there's going to be potentially about up to 400 riders or more coming through. And secondly, I would ask you, if you do own dogs and you're on the route, please keep them inside while the cyclists are going through, because every now and again a dog can see cyclists and come running out after you, and it can be a problem for the cyclist, but it could be a problem for the dog as well, because you know, there's traffic and so on the road. So I'd ask those two things, please.
Yeah, good safety notes. I think our motorists are most polite and aware of the cyclists on the road. The cyclists, of course, know that they obey all the rules of the road. But just a heads up that there are going to be lots of folks on bicycles this coming Saturday, August 8th.
And it's going to be fun in town in West Jefferson as well.
Oh, yeah. And if there's somebody out there listening that says, hey, I'd like to know more, I'd like to get involved, we've still got some volunteer slots. We'd be happy to place you out on the route to cheer those riders along, to help us with some safety issues and
just
some
phone
key
the Arts
intersections.
Council.
That's it.
And they'll put you in touch, and we would very much welcome any new volunteers, for sure.
Well, Ray, good luck on the ride for you. Look forward to seeing you Saturday morning, August 8th, the Blue Ridge Brutal Bike Ride, 26th Annual Fundraiser Event for the Ashe Civic Center. Good luck.
Okay, thank you.